What's going on, guys? Platinum Cards in the house, and today I'm coming to you with my favorite archetype of all time, a deck build of Graydles. So, before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you see. We're on the road to 69 subs, guys. 69 subs. So, without further ado, let's get started. So I'll start by showing you all the different cards, monsters, and then spells and traps, and then extra deck monsters. And then after that, I'll go into the different strategies and whatnot I like to use in this deck. So firstly, I like to use 3 copies of Graydle Eagle. And this archetype is legendary, guys, because this isn't, when you attack this archetype, it's not your monster anymore, it's our monster. Next, I like to play 3 copies of Graydle Alligator. I also like to play 3 copies of Graydle Cobra. Next, I like to play 2 copies of Graydle Slime. Now, this is your main tuner, by the way, so this what gets off your combos. And secondly, this is your second tuner. I also like to play 2 copies of Graydle Slime Jr. And that was it for the main Graydle monsters. Next, I like to run a Frog engine in this deck. It actually works really well. I like to play 3 copies of Swap Frog. Next, I like to play 3 copies of Rodent Totem. And then next, I like to play 2 copies of Dupe Frog. And that's it for the Frog engine. And then lastly, for my monsters, I like to play 2 copies of Gameciel, just for monster removal. Next are the spells. I like to play 3 copies of Graydle Impact. Next, I like to play 2 copies of Water Hazard. I like to play 2 copies of Salvage. And that's it for the spells. I like to play, in terms of traps, I like to play 3 copies of Graydle Split. I like to play 3 copies of Back to the Front. I also like to play 2 copies of Graydle Parasite. And I also like to play 2 copies of Gozen Match. Now, the way this deck works, you can use either Gozen Match or Rivalry of the Warlords if you wanted to. Rivalry, I think, is cheaper, so if you want to go with Rivalry, it should work just the same. And lastly, for the extra deck monsters, the way this extra deck works is you can essentially use any generic level 8 synchros, and it works pretty well. So I like to play 1 copy of Graydle Dragon. I like to play 1 copy of White Aura Whale. I like to play, 2 copies of Emancipated Rising Dragite. I like to play 1 copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. I also like to play 1 copy of Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. I like to play 1 copy of Thought Ruler Archfiend. I like to play 1 copy of Crimson Blader, 1 copy of Draco Berserker of Tenyi, 1 copy of Geomathematic Magma. I like to play 1 copy of Scrap Dragon, 1 copy of Stardust Dragon, 1 copy of Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. And then lastly, for the extra deck monsters, I like to play 2 copies of Totally Awesome. So for some of my favorite combos, I'm just going to lay out what a lot of these cards do and how I like to best utilize them. So firstly, Graydle Eagle. This card is super dope. Let me go ahead and read its effect. If the glare will go away, if this card in your monster zone is destroyed by battle or by monster effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, equip this card to that target. While this card is equipped to a monster by card effect, take control of that monster. When this card leaves the field, destroy the equipped monster. So if I, let's say, go first and I don't have a way to just straight up take control of that opponent's monster, I usually just set this. Most of the time, your opponent is going to destroy cards on the field by card effect, so when this will go to the graveyard, I can just take one of their cards. A lot of times, it'll be either their best card or it'll cut off their combos entirely. So, pretty good. I like to use its other effect. I can take control if it's destroyed by a monster effect with my own cards as well. So, Graydle Slime is a pretty good card. So, Its effect is if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target two Graydle cards you control. Now, keep note that's not just monster, it's Graydle cards, so you can use Graydle spells or traps for this too. Destroy them, and if you do, special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Graydle Slime once per turn. When summoned this way, you can target one Graydle monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in defense position. So if this is in my hand, let's say I have this on the field and any other Graydle card. Let's say Graydle Parasite is on the field, this trap card is on the field, and this is a monster zone. I can use this from my hand, destroy both of these. Then I can special summon this along with one other Graydle from my graveyard. So let's say I have this. And then what I can do is I can use this thing's effect to steal my opponent's monster. So that not only does that mess them up, but this is a tuner level 5 plus a level 3 monster that allows me to go into any of my synchros, which is pretty good, guys. Next, for this combo, I also like to use it with Totally Awesome. So in order to negate an effect, I can destroy Aqua Monster. And so if this is on the field face up, I can choose to destroy it, negate an effect, steal one card with Totally Awesome, and then steal an entirely another card with Graydle Eagle. So that's pretty dope, guys. So up next, we got Graydle Alligator. So Graydle Alligator's effect is, any second now. If this card in your monster zone is destroyed by battle or by spell effect instead of the graveyard, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, equip this card to the target. When this card is equipped to a monster by this effect, take control of that monster. When this card leaves the field, destroy the equipped monster. So this is really good because the second most utilized way your opponent will probably try to get rid of your cards is by a spell. Let's say they have a Raigeki or something. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Oh yeah, I just happen to have one here. Let's say they have this, they play it against you, and you, let's say, even if you have this set, because normally I like to play defensively. So if they use this card, this will be destroyed, and then you can use this effect to steal one of his monsters, which is pretty dope, guys. Next, the main way I like to utilize this though is with this card, Graydle Impact. So Graydle Impact's effect is you can target one other Graydle card you control and one card your opponent controls to destroy them. During your end phase, you can add one Graydle card from your deck to your hand. You can only use one Graydle Impact effect per turn and only once that turn. So what I like to do mostly with this is I like to search Graydles. So I always like to search my Graydle Slime, which allows me to pop off all my combos. But if I need to destroy something on the field, I like to summon this. I like to use this to destroy, let's say, like it's not the card that is the most damaging on the field. I like to destroy, like, let's say if he has a spell or trap card or a weaker card on the field, I'll destroy that. And then I'll use Graydle Alligator to take control of his good card. So I'm using his own good card against him, which is pretty dope. Next, I like to play for Graydle Cobra. This one is really cool too. So if this card is in your monster zone, is destroyed by battle or by trap effect and sent to your graveyard, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, equip this card to that target, and then you can take control of that monster. If this is destroyed, you can destroy the equipped monster. Now, in terms of traps, it's by far the least likely that your opponent is going to try to use a trap card to destroy all the cards on your field, but it is possible. But I don't like to use it in that sense. I like to use it more with this card here. So this card is called Graydle Split. And Graydle Split's effect is you can target one face-up monster you control, equip this to it, it gains 500 attack. That's pretty much useless to us, but the second effect is really good. You can send this card equipped to a monster, buy this effect to the graveyard, destroy the monster that was equipped to this card, and if you do, special summon two Graydle monsters with different names from your deck, but destroy them during the end phase. You can only use this effect of Graydle Split once per turn. So what I like to do is I like to equip this to this, and then I like to destroy both of them, therefore setting off Graydle Cobra's effect, and I can steal one of my opponent's monsters. And then I like to play, I always play this, if I'm searching, always go to Graydle Slime, and then any other Graydle, and then I'll tune right away to go into a different monster. Up next, we have the frog cards. So with these cards, if you draw any two frogs, you pretty much instantly summon Totally Awesome, assuming one of them is Swap Frog. So Swap Frog's effect is you can discard one water monster to special summon this card from your hand. So that's literally any monster in this deck, but you want to discard a frog preferably. When this card is summoned, you can select and send one level 2 or lower water type monster from your deck to your side of the field to the graveyard. Once per turn, you can return one monster you control to your hand to normal summon one frog monster except Swap Frog or Frog the Gem, in addition to your normal summoner set this turn. So not bad, guys. Not bad at all. The monster I like to send to the graveyard with this. So let's say this is my hand. So I would send this to the graveyard in order to special summon. And then from my deck, I would send one of these to the graveyard. So Rodent Totem, it's a pretty dope effect. So If can't be used as synchro material, but if this card's name become Death Frog while on the field, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one frog monster from your graveyard, special summon this card. So if I have Dupe Frog in my graveyard, I can banish it, or just any other frog in my graveyard. Let's say I have another swap frog in my graveyard. Then I can special summon this. Immediately I'm going to XYZ into Totally Awesome, which gets me a dope negate. And that was all special summoning. So usually what's going to happen is I can then set a Graydle Eagle, or just a different Graydle card for defensive purposes, or if I want to keep this that way so I can steal an opponent's monster, I can do that as well. Occasionally, I'll have Water Hazard on the field. So what will happen is I'll play Water Hazard, I'll get to special summon this, and then I'll pop off the frog combo, and then I'll play something like Graydle Impact, let's say, or just, yeah, Graydle Impact, and then I can destroy the both of these to special summon my Graydle Slime, which will then also let me bring back my Graydle Eagle, right? And then I will tune the both of these into summoning Emancipator Ryzen Dragite. Now this thing is also in the walking negate. So this negates once per turn, this negates plus steals once per turn. And then what I'll do with Totally Awesome, my opponent's main phase, is I can detach a material to special summon any frog monster from my deck. So then I'll summon Dupe Frog. And Dupe Frog's effect is really cool as well, because this card's name become Death Frog while on the field. Monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. So it's just a built-in defense. So I'll put this like this, and then they just can't attack me. So it's really cool. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one frog monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So it just sets off another combo for next turn. But cool thing is, if you have two of them on the field, it's actually called a Dupe Frog lock. Your opponent cannot declare an attack if you happen to have two of these on the field at the same time. That's really cool. Next, Salvage. I like this card because you can add two water monsters with an attack on 1500 or less from your graveyard in your hand. To your hand, sorry. And this pretty much is every regular monster I have. So I can add anything from my graveyard to my hand. My favorite play combo with that is to add Graydle Slime Jr. So Graydle Slime Jr.'s effect with this card is normal summon, so I'll add it to my hand and then normal summon it right away. I can target one Graydle monster in my graveyard. For the rest of this turn, I can special summon monsters except for water monsters. Then I can special summon that monster, and then I can special summon one aqua type from my hand. So that's the same level. So normally, I'll use Salvage to add this back to my hand, and then I will summon it. That allows me to bring, let's say, any Graydle. Let's just pretend Graydle Cobra's in my graveyard. I'll summon Graydle Cobra, and then from my hand, I get to summon Graydle Alligator. Now, the cool thing about this, it's a tuner. So 2 plus 3 plus 3 is 8. So then I can go into any of my 8-star synchros that I'd like. That's really cool. Next, I also like to play copies of Gamma Seal just for removal. That's really good. Back to the Front is cool. I prefer this over Monster, what was the card's name? Not Monster Reborn, but there's other cards you can use to special summon monsters, but this is my favorite because you can target one in your graveyard and special summon your defense position. So the thing about Graydles is they have really good effects, but they're not really good attack-wise. So if you put it in attack mode, you run the risk of, even though its effect is going to activate, you run the risk of taking battle damage. So that's why I like to reuse Back to the Front, and I can pretty much use it at any time on my opponent's turn. So... and it's not just Graydles. I can target any monster I please. So let's say if this is on the field, or this is in the graveyard, I can special summon this if I want the negate. Even this if I wanted to, for the negate. It's pretty cool. Lastly, I like to play Graydle Parasite. Graydle Parasite's effect is when an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can special summon one Graydle monster from your deck in attack position. Now, I only play 2 of these because of that last part, in attack position. But it's very good for... so let's say I have nothing on the field. My opponent's going to declare a direct attack. So I can special summon, let's say, Graydle Eagle from my deck. So then he'll attack and destroy this with one monster, and then I'll just take the other one. Or if I really wanted to, if the first one he attacked would go stronger, I can take that one. But my favorite thing to do with this card isn't to use it for that effect. I like it just because it's a Graydle card. So if these are both on the field, like I said before, I'll use my Graydle Slime to destroy both of them to get my special summons off and then go into my tunes. Yeah, so that pretty much is all the combos that I like to use. I'm sure I forgot a bunch. If you guys like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any more deck recommendations, please leave them down below. And oh my goodness, look at the time.
It's time to do